Hey, how's it going, guys? Zach Cox here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at and showing off all of the hidden and secret gravesite locations that we can check out within GTA 5 that are scattered around the map. And to my knowledge, there are only 4 of these locations. There may be more. If I have missed any, you guys can let me know down in the comment section below, but to my knowledge, there are only 4, and they are available across all platforms of GTA 5 except for one of them, and I'll let you guys know when, of course. But coming in at the number 4 spot, we have Brad, and we know that Brad was just a member of Michael and Trevor's bank robbing crew back in the North Yankton days, and unfortunately in the prologue of GTA 5 he is shot and he is killed. And then later on down the storyline in GTA 5, some 9 or 10 years later, Trevor, in a fit of rage, decides to go to North Yankton after getting into an argument with Michael, and this is in a mission called Bury the Hatchet, and he flies to North Yankton and he digs up Michael's grave in North Yankton to find out who is there. And unfortunately, he finds out that it's his best friend Brad, who up until this point Trevor thought was actually in prison and not dead. So we get an awesome look at just this decomposed body of Brad 9 years later, or 10 years later, after he's been killed, after Trevor's just decided to dig him up and see who's down there. And it's just a really cool gravesite location within the game to check out. Now, coming in at the number 3 spot, we have Antonia Bettino, and we can actually encounter her in a random event by the name of Burial, where either playing as Michael, Trevor, or Franklin, we stumble upon her outside of Paleto Bay, being held at gunpoint, bound up, while another person actually digs a grave to bury her alive. And of course, we get to save her and kill these 2 kidnappers, or whatever you guys want to call them, and she is spared. But this would be her grave, and you guys may have seen this before, this location, and figured or thought, what is going on here? Is this a grave? What is it? And yes, in fact, it is a shallow grave that would have been home to Antonia Bettino, the daughter of a mob boss from Liberty City in GTA 4. Now, moving on, this next one is exclusive only to Xbox 360 and PS3 users, and I discovered this last year around this time, and I covered it on my channel. You guys may have seen it if you've been around for that long, but basically, out near Fort Zancudo and the Fort Zancudo River, just down a hill and next to a tree, there is a gravestone that's actually in between a hill and also just kind of peeks outside of the map a little bit. And my guess is that this is only on the last generation version of GTA 5 due to this actually being a developer's error. It has no sort of significance. It was either just a lazy developer throwing in an unused texture out there for anybody to find, or it was just put there by accident and nobody knew about it actually being put there. But this is just an interesting location because last year when we discovered this, we speculated that, okay, maybe this has something to do with the Chiliad mystery, the jetpack, etc. But unfortunately, it does not, and it looks like it's just an error on the developer's part. Now, coming in last but not least, we have an unmarked gravesite on top of Mount Gordo, and while we may not know for a fact who is buried here, we can imply and just use evidence from a Stranger and Freak mission where we pick up a young girl by the name of Ursula, that this is actually her mother who is buried here. So basically, in this encounter with this girl named Ursula, we pick her up and she needs a ride back to her house, and her house is actually a GTA 5 landmark, which is the lighthouse. And just next to this lighthouse, of course, there's Mount Gordo in this gravesite. And along the way back to her house, she goes on to just mention things that imply that she is a cold-blooded psychopathic killer, very similar to Trevor, just the girl version of him essentially. And we can actually, fun little fact, use her as a booty call if we spare her and take her back home, but that's off topic. And she goes on to say different things like she has or the last person that said something to her or made fun of her ended up swallowing his whole hand, and it was her gardener. And she also goes on to say that she has bits and pieces of her mother inside of her backpack, implying of course that her mother is dead. And we can just use evidence from this dialogue to conclude that this is her mother buried on top of Mount Gordo due to the fact that the lighthouse is right next to this mountain, and her mother's dead. She has just recently passed. She says that in dialogue, etc. So this is most likely Ursula's mother buried up here. It's still just an overall very cool location to check out. All of these are, in fact. And if you guys did learn something new today or found this video enjoyable, definitely be sure to leave a like rating down below. And also, don't forget to subscribe for some more daily Grand Theft Auto 5 content on my channel. And with that said and out of the way, I believe that's just about it. You guys all take it easy, have a safe one, and I will see you all in the next video.